One of the quickest ways that you can improve your golf and lower your scores is to work on your green reading. It's a skill which often gets neglected, but it's really, really common in the golfers that I've helped over the last 20, 25 years to see patterns. And that pattern is generally golfers under-reading putts, like that one, missing on the low side. And there's one really common mistake that they make, which is cause them to do that. I'm going to explain that. I'm going to give you a really simple exercise that you can do to really dial in your green reading. So let's look at the putt we've got here. And I want you to visualize a ball to target line. So that's a line that goes from my ball to my target. And then I want you to visualize the arc of the putt. So you can see it's a left to right putt here. We can see that ball moving from left to right. Now the apex point is the part that I've highlighted on the screen. And this is the distance where the ball is furthest from that ball to target line. Okay, so when the putt is arcing the most. That's the apex point. And golfers visualize that a lot of the time. You know, they see the ball rolling across the green, they see this point. And if that apex point was, let's say, 12 inches away from that line, so that's a foot, they would aim a foot to the left of the hole. So this would be where they aim, because they've seen that ball a foot away from that ball to target line. So what they do is they set up, they aim at that 1 foot left point, and then the ball drifts and misses on the low side. The start line is very different to the apex point. And you can see it on that illustration there that I would have to send that ball off much further to the left of the hole for it to actually get onto that line that you've visualized. So here's the little exercise that you're going to do. You're going to place a golf ball in. And I want you to use some sort of putting gait. I've got this one here, and I'm going to read this putt. I'm going to assess it, whatever I do, look from both sides, crouch down, whether I use my feet, whatever method you use, go ahead and do that. Then when I've decided the line that I want to send the ball off on, so I'm visualizing that there, I'm going to place the gait on that line. And I want this relatively close to the ball, so you can see that's probably, you know, no more than a foot. And now what I've got is I've got my ball, I'm visualizing the trace of that ball, and I've got my gate which is on that start line. Now what I can do is I can hit a putt, and if my ball goes through that gate, that tells me I started it on the line that I chose. Then I can start to see whether it was under-ed or over-ed based on where the ball finishes. So I get some feedback. But just look at this. If I stand back here, have a look at where my ball is lined up with that gate and extend that down, this putt has probably got closer to 2 feet of break. That would be where my ball is aimed as it starts off. To go through the gate, it's got to start at that tee. And that would look, to many golfers, a lot more break than what they think. This ball is never going to be more than a foot from my ball to target line, but I've got to send it out much further to the left than that. Let's have a go. So now I would just go through my kind of full routine, send it through the gate, and see where it finishes relative to the hole. And much better. The pace was a fraction strong, but you can see it's finished pretty much behind the hole. I maybe overread it by 1 inch to 2 inches, but I get some feedback. Now what I would do is I'd move around to a different part of the green where I'm maybe going to have a right to left putt or maybe a more severe break. Do the same exercise, ball on the ground, gate down, put my tee, hit my putt, get my feedback. The other thing you can do as well, you could use something like the tourist wants stripe. You put that line down right through the gate and you're going to get another source of feedback because you're going to see that ball rolling end over end if you've hit a good putt, or it might wobble a little bit if you've not quite hit your start line. So I'd really encourage every golfer to do this. Green reading is often overlooked. It's a big part of putting. If you can dial it in, get better at it, you'll ultimately hit better putts, have fewer putts, and the result of that, you'll have lower scores.